don't know whether you can see that or not. That's got the old steel rocker cage. See that? As far as suspension goes, back here. Old steel. It's got the single shock. That's a TT, a 1980 TT 250 Yamaha. Okay? That is a dirt bike. I think actually the TTs were designed for, I think they said flat tracking. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. But that's a dirt bike, okay? Look at the sprocket on that, it's a humongous sprocket. It's a great bike. I need to get it out of here and get it going again. Haven't rode it for a few years. I need to knock the dust off and ride again. Okay. This is an XT 250 or 350. See that? 350, XT 350. It's a little bit bigger than the 250, a little bit heavier than the 250. And it's see, it's got the monocross. It's got what they call a ProLink system. That came after the steel cages on the TT. Okay, this is a great bike. I need to clean carburetors on it and get it going. Get used to ride it all the time. But anyway, I just want to show you that. Good machine. Okay, and this, of course, is my XT 250 or 350, 650. Okay, my red dinosaur. All right, and I'm just showing you all these bikes just to kind of make a point. And this is my Tenere 700. Okay, everybody's probably seen all these in videos. And now here's my old road cruiser. This is my 1100 Shadow Honda. Okay, that's my road cruiser. I'm gonna knock dust off it, start riding it next spring. And this is a 250 Suzuki. It has a Trials motor on it. For two-stroke, it is torquey. And I haven't rode it for a long time. And back behind that is an XR 250. I think it's a 91 or 92. And I haven't rode it for a long time. But anyway, the point is, I got all these dirt bikes. And all these dirt bikes took years and years to accumulate. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. That ain't the point. The point is, people were talking about what kind of bike they should buy to ride. Okay, well, that just depends on where you're going to ride, how you're going to ride, and that's something that you're going to have to decide. Okay, this thing here is a dirt bike. It is a dirt bike. My other dirt bike's in my other shed. I got two other bikes in two other sheds. Got my XT and my what the hell is that called? TTR. Yamaha. But anyway, this is a dirt bike. This is made for off-road, jack and runner, and this is an 80 model, and they've progressed since then. But this is a great bike for that. And what made this a good bike, you can see that back sprocket there. It's about the size of a dinner plate. But anyway, it's a good bike. The XT 350 was underpowered, and it's a little heavier, but it rode better. It's a 6-speed transmission, and it was a great bike. Okay, they quit making them because for some reason dual sports started dying out, and they lost their popularity, and everybody wanted speed and all this other shit, and so the dual sports kind of died out. And then you got the old XR 650. Dual sports makes come back strong, I think, and to me that's great. But then that thing progressed, and here is the adventure bike. Okay. Anyway, the point is, of course you got the cruisers. The point is, it's like I rode a KLR. A guy asked me a question about the KLR and the XR 650. And it depends on what you're going to ride, okay? You've got to remember one thing, whether it's an XR or a KLR, okay, they are single cylinder machines, okay? The big difference between the KLR and the XR 650 is the XR 650 has no frills. It is a bare bones, and you got to remember it's a bare bones. That's just the way it is. The KLR is a little more rider friendly if you're going to do longer trips, you know, and because you can put bags on them. Of course, you can do it with the XR, but you put bags on them, and most of them you get with bags. Got a windshield. It has a 6-gallon tank, but it's heavy. And I rode a KLR from Christiansburg, Virginia. I rode 260 some miles on the Blue Ridge Parkway into Tennessee, did the Tail of the Dragon, and then rode back to Christiansburg, Virginia, and it was a great ride. But you got to remember that 267 miles was on Blue Ridge Parkway at an approximate speed of 45 miles an hour, because that's the speed limit. And even coming back, when we rode a different route coming back, our top speed was only about 55, maybe 60 miles an hour, because it's a single cylinder. The KLR is a great machine for long distance, and it's a great machine for just being but I call it an adventure bike instead of a dual sport. It's too heavy for a dual sport. It's more, to me, I think, would fall into the adventure bike class. Where it falls down is because it's a single cylinder, and you don't want to run that single cylinder 80, 85 miles an hour down the road. Okay, it's going to fall on its face. It wasn't built for it. But at a moderate speed, it's a great bike. It's a great bike, and I really miss the two that I own, and I'm thinking about buying another one. But first, I've got another dirt bike I want to buy. But anyway, and then I'm just trying to give you a difference in the bikes. Now, if I was going to do a longer distance, okay, I mean, I can take off my XR there and do you know, probably a 500-mile trip, no problem. But the way you're going to ride and how you're going to ride makes a difference in the bike that you should ride. We'll say if I got a friend that lives in Oklahoma, and it's about 500 miles from here. If I wanted to go down there and see him, I had to see him, but it had to be there today. I wouldn't ride the XR. I'd ride the Tenere. Why? Because the Tenere is 700cc. It's twin cylinder. It's water cooled. And it's made more for the road ride. And I can get down there with little or no problem, because it rides so much better. But now, if I was going to go on we're going to say, I don't know, it's just a good bike. But now, if I really want to go for serious comfort, I take my old Cruiser, because it's got a bigger seat, it sits different, it's heavier, and it rides a lot different. Okay, so it just depends on what you've got to ride, where you're going to ride, and how you're going to ride. Okay. Like I said, I did have a 650 Versy, and it was a sport bike, and I loved that bike. But I started getting a little carried away. I started getting the twisty throttle on it, and it's like, you know what? This thing, if I don't quit, it's going to get me hurt. So I traded it off. I'm glad I did, but I wish I hadn't. So if that makes any sense. I love the dual sport bikes. So whenever you're going to choose a bike, okay, you've got to kind of think about it ahead. It's like, okay, today I'd be happy with riding around just the block, okay, and that's all I want to do, run down to the local Casey's and get a soda pop and go back home. But suppose that Casey's closed down and you got to ride 10 miles, okay, are you going to be happy with just you're going around the bike or block bike to ride 10 miles? So you've always got to kind of think, and you've got a lot of choices to make on what bike that you want to buy. That's why I like multiple bikes. Now, these bikes took me years and years to buy, okay? That bike here, I found at the bike shop many years ago. I was still working, and they wanted $675 for it. I said, boom, load her on the truck, it's mine. And I've been happy with it. This here I give $1,200 for. It's been many years ago, and I got no complaints. So, and this here I bought brand new in 07, but it's paid for. Got 42,000 miles on it. That and there, a friend of mine, him and I used to go ride dirt bikes all the time, and he used to ride this thing, and he had a wreck, broke his back, can't ride anymore, so I bought it just for, I guess, the sentimental value. And out there I bought it just on a whim. I don't know why, but, you know, no big deal. So anyway, I still got my Tenere, but anyway, it took me years and years and years to buy these bikes. That happens all right. But you got to know what you're going to ride, how you're going to ride, the places you got to ride, and your riding. What do we call it? Your riding demeanor. You know, if you're not in a hurry, and you're not going to do super serious long trips, then you'll be fine on a dual sport. But if you want to do longer trips, I'd get an adventure bike. And there's a big kind of a, like I said, the KLR is classified as a dual sport, but I call it an adventure bike because it has too much extra stuff on it to be a dual sport. And it has more electronics, got the windshield, got the bags and all that kind of stuff. And you can do some off-road, light duty off-road riding with it. But you got to be careful because if you drop it, it's a bastard to pick up. Trust me, I dropped mine. But I don't know. I just wanted to kind of show you the different types of bikes, and you have to choose what you want and where you're going to ride. And that's why I'm a firm believer in one bike's great, two bikes better, and three bikes. And after three bikes, it's like it's bliss. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, you can never own too many bikes, but it gives you the variety. But anyway, you got to be careful about, and so many people do reviews on bikes, and I don't like doing reviews on bikes because everybody and all a review is their opinion, okay? And opinions ain't worth a pinch of nothing, because if you don't like that opinion, you're not going to agree with it. It could be the best bike in the world, and if you don't agree with it, you're going to hate it. So opinions suck. Get out and do your own research. Look at everything, and first of all, like I said, always ask the question: where am I going to ride, and how am I going to ride? What am I going to? What am I going to do this bike, and what's my expectations of this bike? And what's my limits? Do I have any limits on handling a bike like this? There's a lot of things that enters in. So, but anyway, I don't know whether I answered any question or not, but well, we'll see. I don't know. It's a hard choice, but and this guy told me he's getting ready to turn 50. Well, I'm 70, and my philosophy on life is it's real simple. If you can do it, hell yeah. It's just like, hell yeah, just do it. Someday you won't be able to do it. But one thing about it is, if you ever get to the point where you can't do it, you can always look back and say, well, I did it one time. And that's all that matters. But if you sit back there and you never did do it, then all of a sudden you can't do it, you're going to think, boy, I wish I did do that. I had an old guy tell me that one time when I was younger. He said, the one thing he said I wished I'd always done when I was younger was rode a motorcycle, but he says I was always too afraid. And he says, now I wish, he said, now I really miss it. He said, now I can't. And I'm going, well, so yeah, anyway, I just want to kind of show you my bikes, and I was going to try to tell you the difference in all of them, but there's just so much variety. Think about where you're going to ride, how you're going to ride, and where you got to ride, and that'll determine the kind of bike to get, okay? And there's so many bikes out there. Get out there and touch them all, ride them all, and find out which one calls to you, and that's the one that you'll buy. So anyway, I guess that's enough for that. Hey, ride safe, ride free.